Okay. We'll move on then with the board reviewing. Pete, you want to go through the reports in this?
Basically, as part of the consent calendar, the reports are there for your information and for as part of the district record. And rather than get into detail on this stuff, which in many cases takes up an hour of our meeting, I'm providing written information if there's a need for an additional agenda item in a future meeting relating to something. In fact, for example, the IRWIMP project may be a good item for a future agenda as we get further along and get some feedback from the public to further define what those accounts are going to be and what the expenses are estimated to be, answer some of those questions that Mr. Barton had. And then but when it comes to the report, basically this general manager's report was in a lot of pieces delivered because there's a lot going on. That the additions today were the basically the bid calculation sheet. I wanted to make sure that you saw that on Friday last week we did receive bids for the intake booster, and we do have bids within the budget amount and within the board's authorization. So we'll be reviewing that and awarding that contract to the lowest responsible bidder and moving forward with that project that's in the budget. So we got 6 good bids. Really pleased with the way that went. Other than that, the only other thing that's come up that's not in any written report is the fact that we have a draft agreement coming forward to the board related to cell tower service. The board had a closed session several months ago and gave me some direction on the negotiation with AT&T. AT&T has decided to proceed with the project, would be a cell tower on the Arboleta tank site, leasing a section of that property from us, and paying us $3,000 up front for our review and for basically working with them through the process of the approvals, and then an $1,800 a month payment, which is well outside the amount that they had initially proposed. And that was a lot of research to get us to that point. A lot of friends in the industry that helped me understand the value of that lease, and then also the fact that individual carriers, as they attach onto the AT&T tower, will also have to negotiate with us. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a little indication that we did we should be pulling another $20,000 plus in revenue a year from this cell tower lease, in a very secure site, a very good location for AT&T to expand internet service for the community and safety. So everything else pretty much again, you got a lot of bits and pieces. We're preparing a reimbursement request to IRWIMP, which should be well in excess of $200,000, including the reimbursement expenses that we've had on doing the service line replacements over the last year, which wasn't anticipated before, but we had set everything up to make sure that if it was reimbursable. So the work that Marriage Construction did during our emergency to get our leakage under control should be reimbursed under that grant. And also the cost of the grant application that was spent a couple years back, so that'll put some more revenue back into our pocket. Again, we got good bids for the barge project, so that'll get going right away. Even though emergency booster pumps for low lake level are not that exciting right now when that lake is approaching maximum capacity, at least for the next drought. Filters are done. Fantastic project. The Ranchito 1 has been rehabilitated and should produce a little bit more than it did before. We've got a new pump in there, and the well's been rehabbed, and all we're going to do is have a new meter set and have it repiped. So that's another good project that's going on. Put it back in good shape. You did receive in your packet a state report, a report that went to the state on our consumption, our production and consumption, kind of a scary number in looking at the percentages of unaccounted for water. That can be a combination of water theft, water lost, leaks, fire hydrant flushing, filling water trucks, a little bit of everything. And that is comparing the effluent meter where the water leaves the treatment plant to the amount of water consumed by our customers. And that was required by the state. Filling water trucks, a little bit of everything. And that is comparing the effluent meter where the water leaves the treatment plant to the amount of water consumed by our customers. And that was required by the state. They're requesting that because they want to start monitoring the leakage in distribution systems. They're not concerned with processed water. As far as backwash water, they're not concerned with the water coming from the lake pumped to here at this point. They're concerned with what leaves the plant and what's consumed by our customers. So that's the reporting point at this point. So that's it. I'm just adding verbal to what we have already, and that your consent calendar's okay with it.
Anybody any comments?
No.
Russ?
Quick question. Back on the filters. We discussed in a meeting going to stainless on the inside and tunnels, and we did that, right?
Yes.
Did we pay a real penalty for that, or was it just pretty much the same thing?
No, it was more, but it wasn't.
Like
It was worth
10 or 11,000.
right. Yeah. Well worth it to have, because that was the weak point in the filter upgrading.
You said you were going to provide us an update of some of the questions that were asked here with regard to the finance report here.
It specifically said I wanted to put the IRWIMP on the agenda once we got a little bit further along, got our survey results back, and there were a number of questions about the IRWIMP and the accounts for the IRWIMP and how that money's flowing and all that.
Okay.
Jim?
I know this wasn't discussed in your report, but this is something that's kind of been burning in my mind. I know originally under the grant proposals, we were going to be able to cap off those wells down at El Prado. Yeah. Have we done that, or are we in the process of doing it? My biggest fear is that with time, things get forgotten. Not saying we will forget it, but I just want to make sure we have that on the radar.
We do.
And the second of all, you mentioned with the AT&T towers that other carriers who decide to tie into that tower will have to negotiate with us as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
understood correctly.
I'm a numbers person, so I have a couple of questions. We have been talking, yes, we've been in a drought, and we've been pushing for... I'm a numbers person, so I have a couple of questions. We have been talking, yes, we've been in a drought, and we've been pushing for low losses. And I thought about this, and I'm not trying to take us off in another direction, because this whole district, the board, everybody in the community has been pushing, we pushed them. My thought as I thought about this water loss, what is it costing us? So when I look at a report that says total water loss 19%, what is that in dollars and cents? I know we have to go that direction, I know that, but it would be nice to have a quantitative number tied to our loss. So if we see water loss go up 5% or whatever, and I don't know if that would be a challenge, but I think it might be valuable, so we can say, okay, if we can do this, what kind of other things can we do? If we invest this money, we invest X, and it costs, we're spending Y, what is the return on, what is the return? I think that would be good for us to know, other than things can we do? If we invest this money, we invest X, and it costs, we're spending Y, what is the return on, what is the return? I think that would be good for us to know, other than us coming here every month and saying, oh, we lost 19%. Monetarily, I can understand 19%, but I don't know what that relates to dollar-wise. So, you know, and I don't know how, you know, I could throw some numbers at it. I don't know how, you know, I could throw some numbers at it, and, but I thought that would be kind of an interesting concept for us to have. I know you know, what does it cost us? And so then if we educated the community, you know, we're losing water, and this leaks are costing us, if we put a dollar amount to it, it might stimulate more calls if people don't report the leaks. I thought it kind of goes on with the water conservation stuff as well. So I'd like to see, I know these are great reports, and I asked you a couple of questions on them. Does it include the backwash? Because I wanted to, in my mind, thinking, okay, are we at 19% or is 5% of our water that we're losing away from backwash? I wanted to make that number lower, and you know, we can do that. So just for the future, it doesn't have to be on a monthly basis, but if we could quantitate what a 5% or 10% loss is costing the district, that we have a dollar value to go with these reports. That's right.
I should be able to calculate that easily.
Huh?
It's not in sync.
Okay. Then you can give me your.
What are we talking
Okay.
about? I know it.
And I know we get the reports on the well projects month in and month out. How are we doing overall? Where are we at? Are we at 99.9% complete? I know we had a little standard work to do and stuff, and that was my other question.
That is item 4B.
Okay, I will wait.
If you don't mind.
Okay, I'll be happy to wait, but, okay.